Welcome to Join the Raid. Tonight we have our guest, Big J2 Lit himself, the content creator, and of course we got the host with the most, Mr. Savage, Mr. Suave himself.
Well, hello.
How's it going?
All right, so tonight we're going to talk about this. Go ahead, actually, Jay, you go ahead and start off with what are we talking about tonight?
So, we're going to talk about, I guess you would say, fake love, or should I say fake support?
Mm.
All that, there's a couple of things that I did want to tackle. So, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. Hey, yo, man, we go one at a time. We go one step at a time, no matter what it goes. And so we're going to talk about that. So,
Okay.
with your own experience with that, what is your what is your definition of support and real support?
Real support. Okay. So, real support is when someone actually supports you and actually is genuinely there for you, like they actually want to engage every time you go live, like they try to do their best to go in there and show you love and support, not financially, but just going in there and just saying hi. We all understand, well, the ones that do understand, the real ones, we will say understand that people have work, 9 to 5s, people have significant others, people have kids, people are
Yeah.
content creators themselves, so people have to take under consideration all of those things. So with that being
Yeah.
said, anytime somebody comes in there and says, hey, how you doing, like, like getting in that's what I feel like is support, like, like that, it goes a long ways, because we have to understand that time is very precious, and for people to take their time to go into your stream, you should be appreciative,
Yes,
and
definitely.
a lot of people don't think about that, or they forget to think about that kind of stuff.
I get that. I do. But it goes to that standpoint of what is fake support in your standpoint from the content creator side of it.
So I've been I've been streaming for over 4 years, and I can tell you things people say behind the scenes and what people won't really say on the stream. So I didn't know that there was a thing where like people would look in other people's streams to see like who their top quote unquote supporters are, as far as the financial side. They'll look in there and they'll see who's like their top supporters, and then they will try to engage with those content creators or supporters and try to get them into their stream. There's
Yeah.
also the thing where people will follow you when people kind of just like recommend you and not really, like, I guess you would say, get a feel. And like, say for example, if things go south between the person that introduced the two content creators, they'll usually, go with that person. So, my thing is, I honestly have been through it all, seen a lot, heard a lot, and honestly, I would rather someone genuinely support me for me. I understand, people shout out people, and a lot of people do follow like that, but that's fine. But my thing is I would rather people support me for me, and not just because someone says, "Hey, follow that person." Like, if they follow me, I would want them to actually check out my content and actually get to know me as a streamer, as a human being. And if they don't like the content, then that's fine. They got other people that do.
Okay, so a lot of good points right there, and then they all can go and stem from different things. And from my standpoint, you can take this and put it to your real personal life. Everybody wants that support, 24/7 support when they need it in their own mindset. Think they need it,
Hmm.
and it goes to that avenue of, like you said earlier, somebody has a job, somebody has children, somebody has a family, somebody has other pressing matters that you don't get to see on the surface of it, and they can't always be there.
Yeah.
Right. True.
Time is
So
precious. Yep.
exactly, everybody gets the same 24 hours a day. Everybody
Yep.
does. So you never know what could happen. Hopefully, this doesn't happen to anybody else. That nobody gets in an accident, anything like that, a car trouble, and when that happens, that puts a wrench in every single aspect of their plans. And it just one of those things I always want to enforce is that just because somebody's not there with you, going through it with you, at that moment doesn't mean they're not going through something themselves.
Right.
And so you look at it all and you just always wonder, what is it that's making everyone do this whole, well, you're not supporting me, well, you're not here for me, you're not there for me
Yeah.
whenever I need you. But in all reality, you made it through that without somebody, and you don't even put you don't just put it on somebody else. You don't look at yourself and your perseverance there, and you just always looking to blame somebody else. And that's one thing I always try my best to understand, of why are we always having this same discussion, same problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of goes into, like you said, all those kind of things. People do different things in life. Job, family, take care of, whatever. And there's so many things to consider. Also, you can only have up to, I believe now it's only 2 people you can have tabbed up to count for views. So
Yeah.
once you get that threshold, you got to choose who you're supporting, who you're watching. If you're just there to support them because they supported you, but you don't really enjoy them, so less interaction with this person, you give them 15, 20 minutes, you move on. Some people I do that with, but a lot of people I go to your stream most cases because I actually enjoy the stream. I go in there, I say, hey, what's up? How's it going? I'll talk to you for like 30 minutes or so, maybe an hour, depending on how I'm feeling. And that's where I kind of focus my attention. I genuinely just want to make like a friendship with this person. And go there to have a good time, sit back. It's like watching TV. You're not going to watch a TV show you hate. You're going to go
Oh
there,
yeah.
you're going to sit and watch the show because you're enjoying it. You go to watch
True.
Sunday football, you want to see that game. You want to see who's going to win, who's going to lose. So there's so many things you got to consider. And so, like you said, that follow for follow stuff, I don't roll with that. At first, I was like, I wish my follower numbers were up. So yeah, I'll give a few people follows and they'll follow me back. But after I got past the 500 marker, I was sitting thinking to myself, I have all these people followed, but I haven't even watched like most of them because it was just a follow for follow grab thing. Then I started really looking into it, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna have to start rolling back on that. Really be picky on who I follow, and try to build friends and friendships, or just bond with people, get to know them, and hang out with them.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
that. And
I
that
agree
right
too.
there itself, you look at it, when you're friends with somebody and they're friends with somebody else, you try to initiate that and try to cultivate a real friendship with them the best you can. And sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Sometimes you just can't have a friendship with them, but because you're friends with them, you tend to not say anything. You tend to not
Yeah.
make it a pressing issue, because honestly, we're all adults. We know our friends are friends with somebody else. You might not like
Hmm.
them, but at the same time, is they're still your friend. They're still doing you good and still supporting you in a way that makes them your friend.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
in the mindset of a content creator, what's the difference?
Difference
Yeah.
between
What's the difference between doing that in real life and doing that on with the streaming standpoint, like content creating, like
okay.
anything? You can be TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, any of the other ones they have
Okay.
now. If you cultivate that and try to see if you're going to like it, because like somebody said to me, you have like a minute to 2 minutes when somebody raids you out, or gives you a shout out, to be that person and show your full
Mm,
personality, but you don't have that time. And it's
okay.
one of those things that always I try to stick around. I stick around for maybe 20, 25 minutes and see if it's even able to make anything better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess in life, when you're in person, it's a little bit different, because you don't have that usually, unless you're a big star or movie, or some icon. You usually in groups of like 2, 3 people at a time, or even just one person. You're getting to know that person more one on one. So you're interacting with
Right.
this person in person. You're bonding with them. It's a more personal connection, if that brings over to Twitch, that's cool and all, because I date Satan, so I actually been with her for a few months now, and I go visit her, she visits me, yada yada yada. So it's a more personal connection there. And on Twitch, I have plenty of people I call friends, and I definitely would love to meet them one day in life. But as far as that goes, you can only spend so much time with them on Discord or on a call, and since that gap, a screen, it's just, it feels different. There's so many different things going on. So yeah, I guess that's one of the things between personal and like Twitch or TikTok or whatever.
Yeah. I like to, kind of piggyback off that. I know whenever, I guess you would say real life, I guess you would say the difference when meeting people, you actually have a little bit of time to actually get to, like, I guess you would say, like, introduce yourself, kind of like feel the vibes out, like get to know them, they get to know you. It's,
Yeah.
more, I guess you would say more personal because they're in your space. So like, you can kind of, talk to them more and like see their facial expressions. Like if they're not really into you, you can kind of tell, like gestures, like they'll be more into their phone conversating with you. So that's pretty much like maybe it's time I move around, or, stuff like
That,
that. Versus
that
like
body language.
when body language, yeah, it definitely tells,
Yeah,
like, oh,
exactly.
look at the time, I gotta go. Like, things like that. Like, ooh, but you know, that versus, the digital world where like you have, clips, you have TikTok videos, you got, when people raid out to you, you have that little time to, I guess you would say, prove yourself or sell yourself of a worthy friendship or a potential, supporter, however you want to put it. Me personally, I try to look at everyone uh as the equal opportunity of building a friendship, but I know not everybody is gonna get along with me or like my kind of content, which is perfectly fine. But yeah, you just, you got, I look at it as a business, as well. So like, you don't ever want to sell yourself short. You
Mm,
always want to push yourself to the limit and just, always, always, how can I put it? Always keep pushing and don't just settle. I try to tell people all the
yeah,
time, like, always do your best. If you feel like you're not going to perform, don't do it. Like, if you feel like you're going to, like, I guess, like, it's kind of like those precautions. Like, if you're not feeling it, don't go live kind of thing. If you're too tired or if you had a bad day or something like that, like your audience, they pick up on things like that. So, you know,
that's true.
when new people come in there and they see you frowned up, arms folded or yelling at the chat or raging, like just wild, and they won't stick around for it. I've witnessed it. I've been through that, and I just, the pros and cons.
That's very true. And like you said, like that's on Twitch. You see that, and in some cases that's very rare, more rare in the case like in personal, in person, because
True.
when you meet, you hang out with a bunch of friends, they know you, they know how you act, they know your quirks, how you respond to how witty you can be, or how sassy or whatever. So they'll know if you're saying something in like almost like an aggressive tone, and they know you, they'll know you're just joking around. You're just being you. But when, like you said, on
Right.
Twitch, though, president comes into chat and you start talking to him that way, they're gonna be like, "Whoa, what are you
Right.
doing? I just got here. You're gonna be so negative to me. Unfollow,
Right.
never watch again." So yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So, looking at this, how many times have you been dealing with the fake support? Like, actually, in the last 2-3 months, do you think, Big J?
For the last 2-3 months, I gotta say, so I did take a break. I want to say like maybe 3 months ago. I kind of just I stopped streaming on Twitch for a while. I kind of was just doing the YouTube thing and just kind of learning different things and just, testing the waters of different like ways I would, do my content. Um, I even stopped going live on TikTok all the time. I would usually go on TikTok live like every day as well. So I took a break on like many different, platforms. But for the last 2 months, I gotta say it's been really good. Like you have some people that'll follow you and eventually unfollow you. I haven't got too many of those, but everybody that seemed to follow me has been coming through my streams on a daily. Like, so I mean, it hasn't been that bad. I feel like the last 2 3 months it's been pretty good, pretty good. Like you have those that'll unfollow and not really like your content, but for the majority of it, I would say I met a lot of good people through other people, and we've hit it off, and we've become friends. And they joined the Discord, they hang out with us in the voice channel. So you know,
Hmm, I get that. I get that. Kind of rolling off of that. I see that a lot. Like, I'm at like a little over 700, whatever. It's cool and all, but when you really look at it, the stats, you can see who's like a person that comes in weekly, maybe once a month or like daily. But after all the numbers, it's like, I want to say like an average of, let's just be say 50. Let's just say 50 people out of that 700 people that I have as followers. 50 will actually come in throughout the month. Whatever they have to do in life, whatever. And those people I appreciate because they actually generally care to come in and get to know me, hang out a little bit. But those other like 600 people that gave you a follow, like usually when I get a follow for someone, they tell me in chat, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. How are you? Like, even if I'm in someone else's stream, I'll try to get to know them a little bit. It's like, oh, do you stream yourself? Maybe I'll come by and hang out with you. And if you want to come by my stream, hang out for a second or two, get to know me, get to know you, hang out. And they'll be like, oh yeah, cool, cool, cool. And they never do, or maybe the schedule's conflicting or something. But a lot of the times people just follow and never actually follow up with like the interaction on stream. So it's sad to see that because a lot of people don't really realize that in order to get people to interact with you, you also need to kind of expand and interact with others yourself. Even if it's just to go out of your way to find that one streamer that you saw talking in chat, you go visit their stream for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, see how they are, see if they can vibe with you. So it has to go both ways. It's a give and take, but a lot of people just expect you to show up or not.
And for me, from my standpoint, since I'm the newer out of all three of us, I'm the newer content creator out of all of us,
Hmm.
and I tend to make waves no matter what I do. And it's never up to the level of disrespect, but people tend to take it as that because I would keep myself on that level of brutal honesty, and it makes people feel uncomfortable at times because they come to
Yeah.
certain people's streams and content to look at it for that reassurance that I like to call it coddling at times on so many different levels because I don't have the patience for it as well because not only do I not know them as well, but they just don't know me like that, and I just want to make everything work smooth. But I want people to understand that I'm always going to be that person to always be there and always help them no matter what. Even though my demeanor might be a little rough around the edges or anything, I'm always here to help and support and do go out of my way and do research for people either. And I'm pretty sure Jay, you know this already because you've come to me plenty of times about different
oh
scenario
yeah,
situations. Like when you said I don't want to do live on TikTok anymore, and I said why not?
exactly,
Yeah.
And
exactly, and
I always go to that standpoint of if you think it's like if you think it's negative for you, turn it and make it work for you the right way because you have the ability to go live on TikTok. You have the ability to stream. You have the ability to get people to go to one area, even if it's just for 15, 20 minutes. You got people's attention for 15, 20 minutes. Let's just go ahead and knock this thing out and make it something different. Like we can revamp it. We can change it up because you're still getting people to come into there to you over and over again even though they might drop off. But eventually, those people are going to end up staying around more or more or more a little bit. But you always look at it and you always say, hey, if they're dropping off here, what did I do 30 minutes into it that made people drop off? Because I've seen it
Right.
multiple times of people leaving. They get up, walk out, and they go to the bathroom real quick, something like that, and it's just the stream just started, but you knew you were
Right.
going to stream, you knew you were going to go live, you knew you were going to do
Yeah.
Right.
this whole thing, so you should have taken care of yourself, done everything you need to do just
Yeah.
to get ready, so at least you can make it that 45 minutes, that hour mark, so you're good. So everybody says don't look at your analytics. I look at analytics no matter what to see my faults and see where everything drops off no matter what.
I
Yeah.
agree with
Even
that.
even doing my podcasting, I looked at it where it dropped off because me and Savage did a couple episodes by ourselves and it dropped off by 2%. I just want to know what the misconnection was there. Went back through it, looked at it, like, oh, I found out what it was. That's all it was, and it was something
Mm.
easy to fix.
Yeah.
And now it just everything works out so smooth now that we just go back and forth. It's kind of a conversation, whether we like it or don't like it, we still have the conversation, and
Right.
it's always that. So at the end of the day, it's always that support because I ask people questions. I go out of my way to, hey, do you mind looking at this, or do you mind listening to this, or do you mind just give me your honest opinion. I want brutal honesty. Can you help me figure out what's wrong with this?
Yeah.
And that itself is most people won't do that.
Right.
They go to the blame game more than anything else, and it's frustrating and it's irritating. And I always want to look at them and just honestly, I want to shake the shit out of them and say, "Yo, you're grown. Let's get this shit right. Let's figure out
Hmm.
what's wrong, and let's get you to go to that next level that you want to get at. But it's not going to be an overnight sensation. That there's far and few between that can do that. But
I agree. And I've always been one to like push and motivate somebody. Like, I know a lot of the times people like to have that scapegoat with something, but when I see potential in somebody, far as content creating or even in real life, if they have goals that they want to do, but like blocks keep getting in their way, I kind of just try to keep them going. Like quit trying to look for an excuse. Just do what you got to do, and just get out there and take it by the grip and just conquer it, man. Because I mean, day in and day out, I see great content creators, great streamers like you, Raider, great streamers like you, Mr. Savage, and there's a
Appreciate it.
lot of things that I see, and I'm like, man, these guys could go all the way, and then sometimes there's little, I guess we'll say little things, little setbacks that'll kind of keep them back. And I try to keep them motivated because I know sometimes you're not going to be able to stream like you want to. Things come and go, things may get in the way, but my thing is just to keep them motivated and not give up. We all know we have our mental health where we need our breaks. And a lot of the times, that's when people tend to kind of stop supporting because I've seen it day in and day out. If you take too long of a break, that's when those people will start to unfollow and not support you and move on to the next one. And that's where the
Yeah.
business kind of comes in. But I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's part of the business. They want to see somebody always, going constantly, and those 1 week to 2 weeks to a month, they're just like gone.
I get that. I get that a whole lot. But at the same time, is if you have that business mindset of it, you're always going to look at it and see, hey, if I take this long of a break, how much time is actually too long?
Mm.
Like, is
Right.
it a couple of days? Is it a week? Maybe it might be a month. It might be a whole month. Like I had to take a 3 month hiatus and get myself back together because I was dealing with some personal stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And I came back and didn't have as many followers, didn't have as many subscribers, and honestly, to me, I didn't care. I did not care because I knew it was going to be a setback no matter what. But I needed to take care of what I need to take care of to get myself to
Yeah.
that mental standpoint to where I can just rebuild it all, revamp it all, let's get a good game plan here. Let's get a good schedule here that's going to make everything work right. And I'm doing it. I'm just doing it every single week, just same way. I might change it up one day, just switch it over because hey, we all get sick, we all have issues come up, but I make it to where there's wiggle
Oh
room
yeah.
no matter which way you go about it to always be able to do it.
Right.
Yeah, I see that. I agree with that. I personally never taken a break from streaming. Yeah, I'll take like a day off, but that's usually my usual set program. I'll go, stream one day, take the next day off. I'll support people. I'll add like maybe videos to TikTok or something, then go to the next day and stream again that day. And I never want to do it too much where it'll drain me and make me not want to stream. Because I've
Oh
seen
yeah.
that. I've seen plenty of streamers. I have good friends. I'm not gonna name them, but I have a few people I know personally that would stream every day for like 6-7 hours, and they would they would kill themselves through it. Not only because they're just seeing no improvement or over time, because they're just constantly streaming and not really going out of their way to help other people out, but also just like they'll see their numbers. That's a big thing too. When you look at your viewership numbers and you say like, you're having a bad day, say your average is usually, let's say, a solid 7 people a day. That's pretty good for most streamers. That's pretty good because most people, that's an average for affiliation. But you're having a bad day, say it goes down to 2 people, you're like, oh man, only 2 people are here, and you're talking to yourself, the 2 people that are supporting are doing some things, they're lurking in the background, you're down on yourself now because now you're thinking, what am I doing wrong now? And that's one of the things is you can't look at your viewership number. Just scratch that off. Just if you can, if you're gonna create a dashboard, you can literally block that off. You can turn that off. Don't even look at the numbers. Just
Right.
talk to people like there's plenty of people there. Keep talking, hanging out in chat, having a good time. Because once you see negative things that, like you said before, it's going to show up on stream. People are going to pick up on that, and they're not going to have a good time because now you're negative. Bad energy is going to rub off on people. It happens. It's what it is.
Oh, yeah. Most
Yeah.
definitely.
So, and a good way to like, kind of like fix your pros and cons. Well, not fix your pros, but fix like the things that you catch on is looking at your VODs. Watch your VODs if you have them, because if you do, you can see some things that you can fix yourself. Because the best critic is yourself, honestly. So you're gonna be looking at
Facts.
yourself, and you're gonna see yourself and be like, "Oh, that's cringe. I did that." Like a lot of the times when I'm streaming, I'm doing this. I'm like, I'm like squinting. I have my hand over my face, and that's not good hygiene. It's also just looks weird. It's just like that's something I got to get used to. I use my hands a lot, so if it's on the controller, I'm putting it somewhere else. Other things is like if you're just making sounds and gestures that it just makes you. If you feel cringy about it, other people are going to feel cringy about it too. And so, like you said, the best critic, or I said too, but the best critic is yourself. And don't be, and like you said, Raider, don't be shy to ask other people's opinions. If they're truly going to go out of their way to help you, if they really care, they might give you some pointers. Hey, your voice is a little too loud on stream, or your music's a little too loud, or you're not really paying attention to chat too much. You're too focused on the game, or etc. Whatever it could be. It could be a small thing or a big thing, and you will see improvement over time if you listen to not only your friends but also yourself. You gotta look at everything, and over time you will see improvements.
Yeah, I agree with
Great.
that a lot.
Me
Um,
too.
next topic we're gonna talk about here, Mr. J. We're gonna we're gonna cut out part of that because I want to, like I said, I want to get a group of people in here for that real topic, and
Okay, that's fine.
because, like I said, like I want to do the research, I want to get it all done right. I wanted to have a big showing on it, and that way we can actually get it done right. Also, Mr.
Yeah.
Savage not prepared because he was not he didn't know about it.
Totally
So we have
understand. Hey, I'm
Eating
here for it.
tacos, and next thing you know, I'm here.
hey, hey, I had tacos last night, so yeah, they're delicious.
Oh man, I had enchiladas the other day, so hey, look at us.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, Jay, I'm gonna give you your own scenario here. What is it that you got? 2 questions. Ask me and ask Mr. Savage. Go.
Okay. What is it that you most enjoy about networking? Like, what is it that you guys like? Like, what is it that just is so important to you guys when it comes to networking? Like, why is it so key?
From my standpoint, I've always been good at networking and talking to other people and just getting through and trying to figure out what they like, what they dislike, and if it matches up with my own ways. And if it does, I tend to gear toward them and they're like-minded people as well. And I also go the opposite end of the spectrum and deal with people. I say deal with people, but I still talk with people that are the complete opposite of me,
Hmm.
and try to figure out how to actually nurture that relationship because it makes you so much better at getting a networking core, going from one to the other, and then getting everything past word of mouth. And then from there, you can do your whole content creation, everything like that. But in all due respect, word of mouth still travels faster than everything else because they tell their friends' friends, and then if they like it, you got yourself a following, you got yourself a flow going right
Yeah.
there all by itself without you even doing anywhere half the work of you making content, trying to put it out, trying to push everything over and over again.
I agree
Okay.
with that.
Okay. Yeah, networking for me is just really building like bonds with people. I generally enjoy getting to know people, all the different kinds of people out in the world, because everyone's different in their own way. Everyone's unique in their own way. Some people, you'll love instantly. You'll just like that. You're gonna like not fall in love with them, but you're gonna start liking them. You're gonna like, wow, this guy's pretty interesting. He's unique. He's different. You're gonna start hanging out with him, get to know him, and you're gonna see if you're lucky, you're able to like kind of see how their journey started up and how they got to where they are now. So you get to like, I'm a person that loves like reading other people's stories. I love adventures and stories, and it doesn't have to be big or small. It doesn't matter the size of the adventure, but like the journey. I like seeing the journey and where it leads to. So I love interacting with people, getting to know them, becoming friends with them, but also seeing their perspective on things too. Because I'm big on like perspective of other people's like stories, their life. Some people might have more aggressive attitudes. Some people might be just a nice person, outgoing, caring. Someone might be very shy, and why they may be that way. So it's always cool to like interact with people and see this. There's so many people out there, and when you're watching that person, they may not interact with you per se, like they can't see your expressions, but you can watch that streamer for an hour or two and see their quirks, how they act, what they do. Is you see one person, he's a very energetic, crazy, like spontaneous dude. He's streaming, he's pushing buttons, he's making sounds go off, and other people might just be a gamer. He's just sitting there gaming, talking to people. I know all sorts of people like that. I know one person that just likes to hang out, chill, vibe. He might not have like all the sound effects in the world, but he's still a cool person to hang out with. Then you got like I said before, the guy that's like out of this world, and he's making things crazy, spinning on a chair. He's a little tutu, and he's entertainment. You probably know who I'm talking
Right.
about by this,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
but
Oh
okay.
yeah.
But still, it's like it's cool to see that level of difference in people. Like it'd be so cool to see what people do and how they act, and then building a relationship with them, big or small, is even cooler too. Because then you're like, wow, I know this person. So that's definitely why I like networking.
Well, yeah.
Question
Got
number
ready for
two,
question
sir.
number two? Okay, so for those that may not know, I think that this is a new year, a new beginning for a lot of us, and I just would like to know what are your goals towards the streaming industry part?
Hmm.
Do y'all have any goals, and what are they? You got your low goals, and then you got your high goals.
I'll let you take
Oh
that
yeah, I
one.
Uh,
came with it. He
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
expecting
okay.
that.
All right. I don't have any high goals because I go by the concept of having like a daily goal, big or small. So you
Mhm.
just like, it could be either just because like through networking, you're like, all right, today I'm gonna go to this Discord group, hang out with a couple people from that group, see how these people interact with each other, or it could be like, today I'm streaming, I'm gonna try to do this, focus more on chat, try to be more interactive with chat, or etc. And I noticed improvements with myself through that. Like I try to tend to be more focused, and definitely try harder to interact with people when I go into the streams, because before I'd be guilty of just going in, saying, "Hi, how are you?" and then keeping them up on a tab with their volume low, and then, hang out in Discord with a bunch of friends and chilling. And that's not a problem every so often, but I'm trying to be more attentive to the people that are streaming at that time. I want to actually build relationships with people. So I guess that could be like my overall goal, is just build more stronger relationships with people, showing that love daily, as chat says.
Most definitely.
For me, man, y'all know me. Streaming is not my thing. It's one of those things. It's another avenue for me. I
Right.
enjoy doing it, but it's one of those things I just can't understand. Of hey, what are we doing, and what am I going to do it for? And for me, it's doing a podcast. It's just another avenue to get that out there for somebody else. They want to listen to it, like it, or anything like that. I play games while I stream too, and it's enjoyable for me because I streamed. I think it was Monday. Monday is the last time I streamed before tonight, and it was. I enjoyed it so much because I just got to play video games, look at the chat, talk to them, and it's enjoyable. So my low end goal is just to keep streaming. That's just it. Just keep streaming in general. Um, if uh, if it's anything else, then I just look at it as a high end goal would probably be, hey, I want to get more people in here to watch it when we're actually going, not just at the beginning. And it's just one of those things that doesn't frustrate me, doesn't irritate me, but it's one thing what I like for a goal to be like, hey, let's get more people in here at midway through it and see if they like it or not, and get their pros and cons on it, and what can we do to fix it. But
Mm.
that's just for somebody that critiques themselves so much, and I critique every little thing I do.
And my own worst critic.
Exactly. All right, Savage. We're gonna shoot with you now.
Shoot with
Ooh.
me. Questions. All right.
Yes.
All right. So, Big J, what is the worst situation you've had to deal with in chat? Anytime it's
In chat.
streaming. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure majority of y'all know what it is. Those spam bots. They'll come in there and they'll just like start following you, the follow bots and all of that stuff. I've had that happen, and I remember before I was introduced to SiriBot, I would have to shut down like my Mix It Up bot and just like try to stay calm and not let it get to me, because that's all they want, is to see your reaction when they do it.
Yeah.
Right. So, there were a few times where I would like stay calm and kind of get a little upset about it, but it wasn't really noticeable. Like if it someone outside looking in, they wouldn't know. But if they've known me like a shiny hero or like a radical, like people that's been in the community for quite some time, they would know like, oh yeah, Jay,
Yeah.
something's wrong with Jay, but SiriBot has definitely helped it out, and I gotta say that if you guys don't have SiriBot, I would definitely recommend it for those that stream, because it will do wonders and
I
it will
recently,
save you from.
I recently
Oh
got it
yeah,
myself, so.
Well, for me, I've never used it before, so I don't stream a lot though. So that's
It's not
probably why I
foolproof
don't use
either,
it.
because someone did recently get spam botted even with that on. So it's not foolproof, but it definitely helps.
Ooh, it definitely does help. See, I haven't
Yeah.
had that, but hopefully I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, not gonna
better
work.
than nothing. Right.
Alright, so Raider, let's see.
I'm ready.
What do you what do you want to do with streaming really? Do you have like an actual like do you want to be like really push for like a partnership? Do you want to or you just streaming just to stream, you're just having a good time? Is that it for you for right now?
My goal is to never hit partner. That is my goal, to
Never hit a
never get
partner.
that
Okay.
far, because
Okay.
for me that's just not, it's not my thing. It's not my enjoyable thing no matter what I do.
Okay.
And it frustrates me the most because everybody says, "Well, you have a good personality. You can actually, if you actually built it up a little bit more, get some of your setup done right, and play some of this, or do some of that." And I'm that person that goes the opposite end of the spectrum all the time and do my own thing, no matter what.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. If it's not cohesive or working toward making everything else I have going on better, then it's not a priority. So that's why I say that it's going to be me streaming just to stream.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's
Right.
no problem with that either, really, because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, when you're streaming, I think above everything else, I think the number one thing is to have fun. That's what streaming should be for everyone. If you put it like
I,
I know you put it as like a business, and there's nothing wrong with that either, but definitely the key factor should be for fun, really.
exactly.
And if it
Never lose
becomes a
sight on
job,
that.
yeah, and if it becomes like a job or like a full-time partnership for you, that's even better. It's cool because then you get to have more fun with 100 viewers, 200 viewers, whatever. But at the end of the day, like I said, it should definitely be for just fun. You're vibing, you're sharing these moments with other people online. That's what it really is. You're just sharing moments. Whatever it's in Fortnite, you're getting this crazy W, the clutch win against like three other teams, or if you're just playing golf with friends and you're drunk and you start dancing on the screen or something. You're capturing these moments,
That's
and
golden.
that's
That's
for.
golden.
And it's those kind of things that you capture it, and then it might go away and it might be lost, but a lot of people will see it, and people are gonna probably get a laugh out of it and some enjoyment out of it. That's what it's all about, really.
I agree with that 110%.
I do too. Um, so I guess it's my turn. So, Mr. Savage, what is your biggest downfall when it comes to streaming that you've noticed
Biggest
so far?
downfall. Okay, biggest downfall is streaming. Oof. Uh, I think I definitely will say when I mentioned this earlier, I used to be so big on the viewership number. I used to be one of those people that I get frustrated real quick at the end of the day looking at those numbers. They'd be like, oh, but like I said before, you gotta cut that out, and you'll feel so much better. And so there's other things like that really during streaming. Like I see little quirks here and there that I do that is just like, I should change this up and things like that. Really though, at the end of the day, I'm just there to have fun. I keep it as a hobby, and I'm not trying to be. I don't want to put so much pressure on myself that I lose interest in it, because if you're gonna go push for partnership, that's gonna be a lot of work and a lot of time. That takes time to do that. A year, 2 years, maybe three, four. It all depends if you get lucky with the right connections with people. If you build it up by scratch yourself, purely just because you're really you catch someone's eye and then they talk about you and then it spreads like wildfire. So stuff like that, I kind of like I used to be really hard on myself, really. So I kind of brought myself back and said, just go back to the roots of it. You're having fun with it. Enjoy the moments you have with it, and just go with the flow of it, really. Because if you just put too much pressure on yourself, it's gonna kill the vibe with yourself and the vibe with others around you.
Okay, I get that.
Well said. I like that.
All right, Jay, we talked about our goals. What about your goal? What's your goal? You want to ask us ours? What's your low end goal and your high end goal? Let's hear this.
So my low end goal is to make sure I build one of the best communities out there. That is my low
Okay.
end goal. I feel like I've met so many great people. They've joined the community and they enjoyed it so much that they wanted to actually be a part of our quote unquote stream family. And then, we have those that I guess you would say kind of just want to stick around just to hang out and vibe out. So, support, hang out, make friends. That's always cool too. So, that's my low end goal, is to make sure I get all of the content creators and just kind of unite. We all become one big family, and then like they spread their own, branch out and kind of just like make their own communities as well. So that's what I want. I want growth within the community and other communities as well. I want us all to grow as one and everybody be successful. And of course, with that being said, successful is the thing that we all want to be. So with that being said, I would love to focus on being a YouTube partner, and then maybe somewhere down the line, a Twitch partner.
Okay.
It's good goals, that's a good steady goal,
That
especially
is a
with the
good steady
community.
goal.
You want to grow the community and see other people be successful, not just yourself, but others around you, your friends, your Discord friends, your people in real life, all those kind of things. It's always good to see each other being supported, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. And with that one, we're going to go ahead and take care of ourselves and make sure we're all good and happy.
All right.
So, Big J, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure. You wouldn't
Oh
keep that
man, I
long,
appreciate you
like I
guys.
said.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for the invite, man. That was really fun. I would love to be a part of this more often. If you guys ever need me, man, hit me up.
Like I said, I got something for you that we're gonna put together. Next week we're gonna probably try to do have Savage figure out. Yeah, we're gonna let Savage run the show next week and see how it goes. See what he wants to talk about. If there's anything else, because he ran last week and it was phenomenal. I loved it. It was
It's
just
good.
him and I. See if he can figure out a new guest for us, and let's see what we got for it.
Okay.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining the raid. Hope you'll have a great night, and we're going to have so much fun next week.
Oh yeah.